Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast, folks. We're here for episode 354, recording on April 16th. I guess I should be saying when we're doing that. I don't know. Give you an idea, so that way if some big thing happens on April 17th, you're like, why the hell didn't they talk about it? You know why. Because we weren't there. We didn't exist yet. In that timeline, I guess. It's me, John, and I'm being super existential to start this episode up. Maverick, you're here.
Yeah, I mean, in the physical sense, yes. The existential sense, I think so.
Right.
In the Freudian sense, yeah, I'm pretty here.
All right. In what sense are you not here?
I am not here in the ludonarrative sense.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but okay, we can move on. Melissa, you're also here.
I am here and I am ready.
So what existential crises have you gone through this week?
I don't know. It hasn't been too bad. Just took like a 70-point quiz and no, it wasn't a quiz. It was like an exam in school. And like thankfully we got to use the notes, because if we didn't get to use the notes, I don't know what I would have done, and I probably would have had an existential crisis. So let's say in another universe, I might have had an existential crisis.
I mean, that sounds pretty stential.
Yeah, existential.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty grounded, taking a test. That's I don't think stential is a thing, but if it was, it would be that. Just, oh no, a test.
Yep.
Folks, we are being constantly tested by many things. Every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. For we live in a world that has video games in it.
In life, they give you the test before the answers.
Mm-hmm. That's true,
OS.
Big Time Tommy.
Yeah.
That was one of the most true things that he ever said. And he says a lot of true things on his...
That he does.
What does he post on now? Does he post on TikTok, I would think?
Oh, I hope he posts on TikTok. I think he has a cameo. I'm going to look that up now.
Yeah, please do. I want to figure out like where Big Time Tommy like posts his content now. I know he's posting stuff recently because, he did post that a video where he pointed out that like the local Olive Garden shut down because of COVID, and he was like celebrating that, which is very funny.
Yeah, he's on Cameo for $75.
That's not that bad.
No, in terms of it could be a lot worse. He loves Cadillacs, cannolis, cigars, and women.
I could have told you that, yeah.
I don't know who this guy is, but he sounds very interesting.
Imagine a person in your mind that looks like how you would expect they would look with that description and the name Big Time Tommy. And
yeah, I'm looking him up.
I mean, I'm just saying that's basically what he looks like. He just
the final
looks like
boss
that.
of Italian Americans.
Yeah, he is just
big cigar smoking, shades wearing, chain wearing man.
Yeah, he's just...
That's the description.
He is the most Italian American man to ever be an Italian American. Absolutely, that motherfucker loves all that shit. But yes, we are the questions that we are constantly being asked every single day as gamers is, what next? What button will you press next? What dialogue choice will you choose? When will you use your items? There's so many pressing things that we are being asked every single day. So today I will be one to ask a question. And that question is I will be asking you two, and also myself, about a variety of different topics regarding video games. So I suppose I'll start off with you, Maverick. You've been really chugging through a game series lately, from what I can gather. You've been playing through the Trails of Cold Steel games. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your adventures on those trails?
Oh, I am glad that you asked, John. So, uh, again, the last a few episodes back when I was on, I talked about starting up Trails of Cold Steel 2. Through the entirety of last year, I basically set it as a task to get through the first game at a point where like I could barely muster up the energy to get through a video game. That was a good pace to set for myself, and picking up 2, I figured, okay, let me make sure that I can actually get invested in this series and continue on with the other games so that by the time that whatever the next installment gets announced, or whenever I find something that I want to play instead comes out, I can actually feel empowered to do so instead of just thinking, well, I got other stuff to take care of in my backlog. And so this past weekend, I took care of actually finishing the last bit of Cold Steel 2, and I had mentioned it earlier in the other episode, I think, that I talked about this game, that a lesser game would have made Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 one single game and just cut out specific mechanics and parts. I'm very glad that instead of doing that, you do have 2 separate games, because there is a lot that is covered in this span of time that I think would just get ruined by trying to condense it all into one game. And both to its advantage and its detriment at points, having a lot is one of the key components in this sequel. So just for a bit of background about the Trail series, I'm not going to go too in depth, but I figure that when it comes to talking about JRPGs, it's important to highlight the things that make them good and make them fun to play. And I think there are a lot of components in the Trail series that really help it stand out amongst its other contemporaries.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the fact that you have, alongside your standard health and mana split, you do have a bar for skill points. Basically, the opportunity to set up skills, they call them crafts in the game, and when you set up your crafts, they're either area of effect, physical attacks, they're buffs, they're debuffs, they're ways that you can maneuver around your characters in case you have the situation where, oh, I don't have someone that's really a magic user. What else can I do in its place? Or if I don't have the ability to take care of everything with one character, still finding maneuvers to get through the other components. And alongside that, the magic system is also interesting in the way that, one, spells are delay based. So if I wanted to proc my fire spell, the initial turn would be spent casting it, and then depending on a lot of factors, incorporating speed, incorporating the speed of opponents, incorporating the actual inherent delay that's like present in some of these spells, there might be some time where I can either immediately have it set off as my next turn, and you'll see like in the turn order that is also in display whenever you're in a battle scene, like you'll just get an extra turn added in to let you do that spell, or it's going to be added on later in the turn order, and then that'll also come with a cooldown system. And so it's very interesting that I think these components that feel more present in MMOs are coming together in a single player JRPG, and they ask you to be a little bit more present in the gameplay, so that, okay, if I want to deal damage to this boss character and I know that they're weak to fire, do I want to just get an attack off and do the weak fire spell, or do I want to risk getting a few turns incorporated and set off my bigger area of effect fire spell that'll, in turn with like having more mana cost, it is just going to take longer to set up. And then alongside that, the game gives you options to affect the gameplay where you can actually do attacks that delay turn order as well. And so you can set up a build that really is focused on making sure that your enemies literally cannot get a hit in. And I found myself really incorporating that by the end of Cold Steel 2. The magic system itself is also really interesting in the way that instead of just outright doing, like, say, materia in Final Fantasy VII, where you're setting spells to your weapon, you have what they call an orbment, which is basically a little sphere grid, but in terms of setting your orbs, not only are you setting stuff for actual magic spells, you're setting stuff for debuffs, for buffs, you're setting stuff to actually just give you stat bonuses. You're setting orbs so that you can actually do status effects on enemies too. And so even if you have characters that you know you aren't going to require magic damage from, you can still make sure that they get a boost out of that. And then it's also a quick way to be able to make sure that, oh, okay, if I have a weird story event going on, I'm going to make sure I have someone that can heal, even if it's not their main use. Anyone can have use in the Trail series through this mechanic, and I think it's a really smart way of making sure that even if you find your primary 4 to 6 characters that you want to use, if you're in the situation that the narrative wants you to use other characters, it's a good way to still keep them on rotation and not feel as stale, as I often find in other JRPGs where that often is the issue. And then Cold Steel specifically introduces combat links. So think Persona, think that whenever you set off an attack, and if it's an effective attack based on like weakness or critical damage, if you're linked to someone in your party, that's going to proc them to do a follow-up attack. You can garner enough points from those attacks to set off bigger techniques that do more damage to multiple enemies. And in Cold Steel 2, they implement something alongside that called Overdrive, where basically you activate that with your linked partner, and you get 3 free turns to get a boost of skill points. And your magic has no warm-up, so in those turns, if you think like, oh, you know what, fuck you, I want to do my big area of effect ultimate damage spell, you can do it, and it's immediate. And you can also make sure that all of your attacks deal critical damage for follow-ups. It's a very rewarding system that if you're getting your ass beat by a boss or by something that's just a little bit tougher than you thought, you can activate that and get a little bit of a situational change and a setup dynamic where, okay, if I know that I have low defense, let me just set up an overdrive, link my 2 mage characters that I have on the party right now, and give everyone some status buffs so we can at least get to the next turn rotation. It's very interesting to find a JRPG that is quick in the way that it sets up its actual battle systems, but you still have the inherent pace that you set yourself, where it's just like, a lot of my time, in-game time, is just me stalling on the menus, because I have to think about what my next turn is, but once you're actually in the rhythm of setting things up, it is so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and actually, to talk a bit about the combat links, that gives me enough of a segue to get a little bit into the story. I'm not gonna try and get through everything, because even though I do want to talk a bit about the connecting themes with both games, I also recognize that there is a lot that the second game focuses on that requires you to know what's happening by the end of the first. And so there's some stuff that I do need to make mention of, but I'm not going to get too into it. But talking about combat links, I appreciate that in the story you do. So first game, you're a kid going to a military academy, and you're basically set up in a gifted and talented class that also is a attempt at light social democracy, and that you are in a class with others in the a mix-up of classes between people who are literally straight up nobles and people from quote-unquote common class. But you're working with people that are like the sons of generals that are involved in the military, or also involved in the process that is slowly upending the actual caste system in place, because capitalism is slowly coming through. And a lot of the first game is focusing on this theme about traveling the world, getting a broader point of view, and understanding what it means to be a citizen in your local region. Because the whole crux of the plot focuses on you going on field studies to different parts of the continent, and just getting a feel for what it's like to be in these different components, getting a little bit of a view as to what's happening politically. And since this is the third section of the overall Trail series, some narrative components that were present in the other games are slowly dripping in. You hear talk about stuff that's happening in the continent from the first game. You're hearing some stuff that's happening in the games that were right before the Trails of Cold Steel series. And so you're getting little bits of information dripped in, and it all comes to a head at the culmination of the first game. And in the second game, minor spoilers just to give you an idea about what's going on. In the second game, you're caught in the middle of a civil war during the events of one of the last few months in your first year at the academy. And so, where the first game was focused on giving you a very sparse look at that whole year, the second game focuses in on that month of the Civil War. And it does that thing where, if you remember being in high school, and you had to think about one moment that, for better or for worse, it sticks out in your mind, try and think about the month around that. And if you can think about it, and if it was primarily stressful, that's what the second game, I think, really gets at, where it's just like, so much can feel like it happens in the span of 1 month, whereas prior to that, you were kind of just zooming through most of this school year. And I've rarely seen a game do that, and especially since the easiest point of a comparison is Persona, and the fact that you're going through every single day, I think it's very interesting to see a game do something similar, but do so in a way where it's like, we want to focus on the important aspects, but even then, that's sort of something that feels a lot similar to how you might remember being in that kind of situation of being like having to be in school. You don't remember everything, but you remember the points that matter. You remember the components, be they good or bad, that really just stick out the most. And you could say, I had a formative experience out of this.
Right.
And the second game, since it is set in the middle of such a tense moment, you just are having to deal with the entirety of that month. And I think it's very interesting to see a game do that, where it's either all or nothing when it comes to, you're going to experience every single day, or you're just going to we're going to give you a component, a sliver of that kind of a setup. And outside of that, I mean, I would say that this game is very peak anime. And when I say that, it's not trying to give you curveballs in the narrative dynamics that are coming up. It's not trying to say something more profound than what it is, in terms of a game that is set in a society where nobility is still ruling. You're basically pretty okay with the ruling monarchy. It's not trying to set itself apart from that, but it still wants to at least play with the politics of that world, to talk about, to still try and get to some lessons. You know, I talked a bit about how there's a focus on getting outside of your comfort zone and traveling the world a bit. There are some other components, including how to choose the people that are a part of your life, learning how to not shoulder everything by yourself. If I were a bit more focused on the topic, I would maybe say that there is something about the Lost Generation narrative in this game series, but I'm still neither here nor there in that. It would require me to do more research, but I could see the conversation being had. And that being said, the finale of 2, I said that I would have finished it on last Friday night. It took me the entirety of the weekend to finish, because there was just so much. And I don't say that in a bad way. I would have appreciated just going through all of it and in one sitting. It's unfortunate that I did have to divvy it up, just because I feel some stuff really ramped itself into a momentum that I just couldn't keep up with because I was getting tired. But at the same time, as I'm setting up to get ready for Trails of Cold Steel 3, I also realized the fact that 2 is the last game that they did for the PS3 and Vita. They would take another 3 years to set themselves up for 3. And so in that aspect, it makes sense that they wanted to put a lot into the game to make sure that while you were waiting, you still had something to chew on when it came to the series. And the final dungeon that they include definitely speaks to that in terms of just having a lot to work with, and you could go through it very quickly and get to the end of the game no problem. But you can also take your time just going through it if you enjoy the combat, if you enjoy working around some of the enemies, and just if you like putting the game on to go through some enemies and have something to do as you gotta take care of other stuff. That is definitely what this dungeon felt like, and just really rewarded you for choosing to be involved with that kind of a play style. And at the same time, it was also very clear in its layout to be able to say, you could go right up and finish this game, no worries. It's all up to you. And yeah, the original my original focus when it came to Trails of Cold Steel was just being sold on it being a good story about being a kid in a military academy, and it doing so in a way that didn't rely too much on played out anime tropes. There's a scene in the first game that is focused on like, oh, you accidentally fell on the girl classmate. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. But rather than lean on that too much, they actually make it a point to say, hey, this is awkward for the both of us, and I'll apologize because I feel bad about it. If you want to apologize too, I get it. This is an awkward situation. Let's put our best feet forward and get to know each other better. And I think the thing that I am the biggest takeaway is it's rare to see a cast of teenage characters written in a way that is reasonably dumb and reasonably horny.
Sure.
Because I feel like so often it is easy to make fun of the exaggeration of those traits in a lot of media.
Right.
This feels like a game that gets it for the most part because of the fact that they have to set it in the reality of these are kids that are learning how to be in the military or learning how to rule provinces and countries. They can be a little dense, but there still has to be a sense of interiority there so that it's believable that this is the future that they are going to rise up to. But yeah, this weekend I'm going to get into 3. I'm going to see how that's feeling. And overall, I'm really excited. It's nice to have a series that I genuinely am excited to continue.
Cool. So they've hit 4 now, and are they making a 5th one, or are they doing a new series?
So Cold Steel 4 is the last iteration of that series. They've recently come out with Hajimari no Kiseki, which is sort of like a culmination of the last 3 arcs. And then they're currently working on Kuro no Kiseki, which is an entire new story. It's like in the way that Trails of Cold Steel is saying, all right, we're continuing some of the advancement here. Kuro no Kiseki is them going, this is the next part. We're starting fresh. If we have some appearances, who knows? But for the most part, new, everything's going to be new.
Okay. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
All right. Let's see here. Melissa, you have a review coming up. It'll probably be up by the time this episode is out.
Yep.
So, would you like to tell us about the little game that you've been playing recently?
Well, I was playing Balan Wonderworld, and when they first revealed it, I was like, wow, cool, this game kind of looks like Knights, because, the character Balin is like, has long legs and long arms, and it just kind of feels like it. And it's from the creators of Night, so it's like, okay, so you're gonna play as this Balin guy, and you're gonna like do cool attacks and fly or something. But then they're like, oh, you're just gonna play as these kids, right? But then you're gonna have like a whole bunch of costumes, and there's like 80 costumes in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like way too many costumes, and there's so many of them that you can't even jump because there's like one button, like every button does jump on like the main hub world, and then like I don't know why they decided like if you turn into the dragon thing, you can't jump. All you can do is shoot fireballs. And I'm like, this is so stupid. But yeah, it just seems like there could have been more. And then you go into those stupid little bout things, and it's like, wow, you're gonna control Balin now. And it's like, no, you get to do the same quick time event every single time. And like, what? Like, I wanted it to be like, kind of like a little homage to Knights where you fly around and collect stuff, but it wasn't like that. It's just disappointing. And yeah, it's overall just gonna be like a negative review. I mean, the art's nice and the music's okay, but I was just like really underwhelmed by the gameplay. And they had this really nice looking opening cutscene, and then the game starts. It looks like it's from PS3 era, which is really upsetting.
So I
Yeah.
will say, I think something that explains a lot of the issues with that game is that the folks that actually like did the brunt of the work, the actual dev team,
Mhm.
they're the same people that made Hey Pikmin.
What?
It's that shit team. So Square Enix really pulled the rug out from under Yuji Naka. I don't know why they did that to him.
Hey Pigman?
What did he do? What do you think he
they
did?
gave him this team
Of a bunch of useless
failed
assholes.
games. Oh my gosh, that explains a lot. That's really terrible.
Because honestly, I remember being a little excited for Battleland Wonderworld. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Man,
I
this
was
looks
so
kind of
excited
nice
too.
Like if this was made, like if Yuji Naka was still a Sonic team, honestly, this
Yeah.
probably would have been like at least as good as like Billy Hatcher or something, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they probably would have more competent people on board.
Yeah.
That
You
doesn't
know,
sound
I
good
I was
at all.
I was maybe a little mean calling the Hey Pikmin team a bunch of useless assholes, but you know what? Still, not exactly top quality mooks here. You know, they're not exactly churning out good stuff. So yeah, so I feel for Yuji Naka. Apparently, Square Enix said that this was like his one chance
Yeah.
to do something.
This
And,
is his only chance, so who knows what's gonna happen next?
I
If
mean,
they
he's
drop
probably
him or what?
he's just probably gonna like slave away in the mines now. They're just gonna be like, all right, now we're gonna tell you what to do.
They should. I mean, if he gets some direction,
I mean,
maybe
you know,
he'll
yeah.
turn out something good.
I mean, I always think that like folks need direction no matter who they
Yeah.
are, but
But
you know,
he
he
didn't
was
get a good
sabotaged.
team. Yeah. Oh man, I'm looking at what else they've made. Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. What?
I mean, that was just the 3DS port of
Oh,
Yoshi's Woolly
okay.
World, so yeah. Can't really
This
fuck up a
is
port.
Not Street Pass, Me Plaza, We Play Motion. Oh no.
I mean, you know, some of that stuff is like good,
It's
but
alright.
it's tiny.
Yeah.
Yuji Naka-Sin was daring to dream this as not a 3DS game.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Maybe if this was a 3DS game, maybe if it was like a way smaller concept, it would have turned out a little better, you know? I don't know. I mean, you know, Yuji Naka's Yuji Naka's made some weird but interesting stuff in the past. You think about like fucking Rodea the Sky Warrior. That game, that's a game that you feel kind of bad for him, because that was a game that was very specifically like supposed to be a wait, did he do Rodea? Hang on, I got.
It doesn't say.
No, he
I
did.
looked it up.
Yeah, he did Rodea, the Wii version, and then they ported it to like Wii U and I think like 3DS or some shit. And those Wii U and 3DS versions were horrible, but the Wii version was like this kind of neat little thing.
That's really weird that the Wii U version sucks more than the Wii one.
Well, it's because it was built around the Wiimote, because you're a flying character and it was supposed to be like you're using the Wii remote to like do different stuff. And so it was just like they just like that was also kind of like a sabotage thing, because you had to like buy a first print run of the Wii U version to get the Wii version. Like, they didn't sell the Wii version separate. You had to buy the Wii U version, and the Wii version came with it.
What? Okay.
Yeah, it's nuts. I feel so bad for Yuji Naka. Like, people see him as like I remember there was like a Reset Era thread recently that was like, is Yuji Naka a hack? And it's like, no, he's just getting fucked over.
Yeah.
He's got good ideas. At the very least, he's got like good like concepts and like character designs and shit.
Yeah, like there's a lot of good character designs in Balan Wonderworld, but it's like the gameplay freaking sucks, and there's way too many stupid costumes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems really unfortunate this happened to him. Like, he could do so much better.
I want to give that Ivy the Kiwi game a shot.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he made that like ages ago. I wouldn't know what the like best version of it is, but
it's Ivy the Kiwi with a question mark. So
yeah, Ivy the Kiwi?
Is he a Kiwi? Is he a human?
The Kiwi?
Who knows? Huh?
I'm looking at some reviews and stuff. It does seem like the Wii version is the version to go for. Again, yeah, it seems like it kind of got sabotaged there, that like they had him make a DS version as well, and it's like, yeah, the DS version sucks ass, but the Wii version's fine. Yeah. Gotta feel kind of bad for the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a producer behind fucking Burning Rangers, you can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Samba de Amigo, Choo Choo Rocket, come on.
It does kind of sound like he just wasn't dealt a very good hand, and if there were better people, he probably would have had a better game.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
It is very sad.
I don't know, maybe one day he'll make something really good again. I mean, maybe not really good, but, decent would be fine. Like, yeah.
The real question is if he goes the KJ Inafune route.
And becomes evil?
Well, if he becomes the good Inafune.
The good Inafune. Like,
Where
go
is
on
that,
Kickstarter.
Where is good Inafune right now?
Nowhere, because the original Inafune got shot to the moon.
Yeah. I got that one.
Yeah. No, instead of trying to make like a multimedia franchise out of a character that only has like a design concept ready, I'm sure he would like want to set something up, but who's to say,
Speaking of that, though, there's like a Balan Wonderworld novel?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's weird that they wouldn't sell that to you with the game. Like, the game is freaking $60, and having something like that would have been really good. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's much of a story, and it's like, it doesn't explain things. It's really weird. It's like, why? And then the novel, and I gotta spend more money.
Would it be a good use of Chooch funds for us to hire a translator to fan translate the
Is it
Balan Wonderworld
actually
novel?
not in English?
Hell no, it's not. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
no. Where do you get it?
I don't know. Someone must have it, though. I think it just released in Japan, which is even funnier because I think it sold even worse in Japan. Like, I think
Oh,
they
no.
sold like 2,000 copies in Japan. They took the demo down from
Yeah,
which that's
because
hilarious.
it's so bad. That's funny. I don't know why I'm getting on Amazon. It says you can buy it on Kindle.
Yeah, I
What is
am
that
seeing that there
about?
are some 5-star and 4-star reviews of the novel.
Is it in English or is it just the Japanese version?
There might be an English translation. Let's see.
God, I gotta figure this
Yeah,
out. I
it
mean,
says it is.
oh fuck.
Only $10.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
$10.
And people are saying, yeah, this helps fill in a lot of the information about the game.
My questions are finally answered.
So, really, what we can say is that Square Enix gave us Final Fantasy 15 too.
A better story than the game. Oh, that sounds interesting.
All right, Melissa, if I assign you to read the Balan Wonderworld book, will you do this?
Oh my god.
As our Balin, as our
I
as our
should.
corresponder on the Wonderworld itself.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I mean, yeah, sure.
The Wonderworld Witch.
The
I don't know
Wonderworld.
why Witch was the first thing that came up.
The Wonderworld.
Uh,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that starts with W.
I love Balan. I love Balan Wonderworld
I like
so
the
much.
character design. Like,
He
it's
goes
so
on fucking
strong.
bouts where he's just flying around in the space for no reason. It's incredible.
Why
It's
does
so
he do
stupid.
this? It
All the
doesn't
fucking-
explain.
All the animals dancing for no reason.
Balin is
Oh
a
my
part of
God.
the Dream Blood
Why are they
rotation.
dancing? What is this language?
It's so good.
And then if you beat like 100%, you get it in English, and I listen to it, I'm like, oh no, this is horrible. What are these lyrics?
Listen, I'm gonna play Balan Wonderworld. I'm just waiting for it to be $5 somewhere.
$5.
Which
Yeah.
you know, probably soon.
Hopefully, because $60 is a scam.
All I'm saying is Balin is getting into Smash.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'd flip out. You have no fucking idea. Like,
Sakura's gonna say, you know what? Fuck all of you. I'm helping
Fuck
out
all
the
of
homie.
you. Fuck Doom
Balin and
Guy.
Smash.
Fuck Dante. Balin for
like
Smash.
they show the trailer. They show Balin and Sakurai. Sakurai just looks right in the camera and he's like, "Well, the deal was inked about a year ago." So
Yeah.
We didn't know this game would suck. Thought it would be kind of okay.
But instead, here's our cool concept for Balin.
he's just he's very visibly trembling and just. We had to do what we had to do.
Not since the Shermie trailer this past week would I feel as invigorated as what I see Balin in Smash.
Would you feel similarly invigorated as you did to Shermie, or invigorated in another way?
Listen, I gotta see Balin holding a smartphone. Holding a goddamn tablet.
Yeah, the iPhone 27 that Shermie had.
What? What is this, Shermie?
She's got like the largest phone ever held. It's so good. She's talking to somebody on a fucking iPad.
The King of Fighters.
Yeah.
Oh no.
God.
I did
But
not.
yeah, the
watch
review
that
will be
yet.
up, if not when you hear this, soon after you hear this. Thank you, Balin. Thank you for all
Thanks,
you've done
Brown.
to
We
us.
did.
Blessings to Balin.
Blessings,
It's good.
Balin's blessings.
Oh my god, her phone is freaking huge. Why?
Because everything else about her is too. Anyway,
Blessed be.
so I guess as for John, I have I've been on spring break this past week. It's about over. I just have this weekend left.
Nice.
And I basically went into a Disco Elysium hibernation where I just played Disco Elysium for like 3 days straight. I feel like that was a good usage of my time. Disco Elysium whips ass. I don't know. I feel like it's been talked about to death on here and everywhere else, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it. But
Seems good.
it's friggin' rad. It's super smart. I feel like I'm going. It's something I highly respect in that it is something that is talking about really high end concepts, really important stuff, but never ever do I feel like I'm being talked down to. And that is something that, especially in like, you know, I don't mean to get too in depth here, but I will for a bit. In some leftist groups, in some scenes like that, sometimes it does feel like you're getting talked down to if you're not as like in on stuff. That is definitely something that is an issue, and Disco Elysium is presenting a lot of ideas in ways that it wants you to like, it respects you enough to not talk down to you, but it also respects you enough to put things together yourself. You know, it's very much like, you know, here's the concept, here's all the different ways that society is changed by this thing, or how these people are handling this problem or that problem. And you're given a ton of options to react to it. You're given a ton of options to see how others will react to it. And it's just very real. It's very human. And I am someone who has never cared for this sort of game, this like very in-depth role-playing thing, but none of it ever feels like it's just like a pen and paper nerd thing. It feels like you're really just living a life and stumbling through it, trying your best to improve and trying your best to navigate this world that is, you know, really suffocating, not just to you but to like everyone around you. It's a really important game, I feel like. I like it a lot. I really like it.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I feel, in a weird way, because of its reliance on just being a narrative experience. I've seen a lot of people that I don't often see get associated with gaming go into Disco Elysium and still find something to be gripped by.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with it being so focused on application of leftist theory, like, it's very substantial to have as well.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And I mean, it definitely helps that it's just funny as hell too. You know,
Right?
I feel like they absolutely they pace the game perfectly in that they introduce a pretty basic like so I don't know. I feel like people might have talked about this a ton, but I'll just say that like just by the pacing of this game, they lay out their politics very smartly by kind of rolling you through the rolling it through the types of racists that you'll run into. Like, you run into that like really basic racist lorry driver first off, like pretty early on, and then you're immediately met with this like super just absolutely insane, off the shits, super like meat-headed racist guy who, it's especially funny in the context that you have been thrust into this world that is very similar to ours, but, you know, has like different names for the different like races or like countries and nations and all that. And so you're hearing this guy talk just all this fucking nonsense about like all these different races that are like supposed to be analogs to different races that exist in real life. But when you're presented with them, you are presented. You talk to this guy before you can really get a grasp on like what all of those things mean. So I think it's just this really smart thing of just like it's almost hilarious. I mean, it is hilarious sitting there talking to Measurehead because it's just like this guy's just fucking nuts. He's just spewing all this shit. It doesn't make any sense. Then as you go on and you start to like talk to people and they tell you like, oh, this is like what like you meet somebody who is like white or black or Asian, and then you figure out like, okay, no, this is what they would be called in this world. And so then you start to fill in the gaps, and then it's just basically like, damn, that's how racists talk in real life, It's like, it's funny because it's true, and it's also like a little horrifying because just like, God, people just like give these people the time of day when they're just spewing shit that it's the kind of thing where like people talk about like how fantasy racism and like you can just make it elves or whatever, and I think this is like kind of parodying that in the way that it's just like, yeah, we're presenting racism in like a way that is like showing how basely wrong it is, while it's also like just like it's so wrong and so just like if it didn't affect people so negatively and so harmfully, it would be kind of hilarious because it'd be like, where the fuck are you coming up with this? Like, why would you believe this? But because it has such a harsh and evil connotation and it harms people every single day with like stereotypes and all that, that's what makes it like harmful and not funny. And I just think the way that that's paced and the way that it introduces itself it's really genius. It's really genius because it makes you like second guess yourself, and it makes you like process a little bit. It's not just like telling you, oh, racism's bad. It's making you actually like really think about how those kinds of people think, how reacting to them would be, how like just difficult it is to even put up with them in any way. And then like later on you even meet like a third racist, and I don't want to like go too far into it, but it's just like kind of interesting that you run into a third guy, and like even like Kim says like, yeah, the next racist we run into is going to be the real like wild one, going to be the real good one. And yeah, he's the most like the kind of racist that you're seeing these days. You're like alt-right weasels, and
Right.
that's just like really interesting to see how how like sure of themselves they are, and then how quickly they fall apart when when there's any conflict. That was it. That was also like really interesting to see. So yeah, I think Disco Elysium handles like really heavy stuff, really hard to talk about stuff super, super well. And I just respect it so much. It is such a good game. It is super fun. Like, I definitely think that like anyone should try it. Like, if you're not like a big gamer, if you're just somebody who's very casual with it, I still think it's worth a shot. I would say that like the only thing that would maybe turn people off is that it is pretty long, but it's all so good. Like the last time that I felt this satisfied doing like every single little side quest thing was probably Witcher 3. But I think Disco's better than that. Because like Witcher 3 definitely has like little like even the little minute side quests that you do, there's something that's rewarding with it. You do interact with a character, but Disco Elysium, like every single little side story, it really melds together, and it's definitely quality over quantity there. Like there is a lot to do, but all of it blends together, and it's all so believable, and like every single character feels like someone that would really exist. It's great. It's fantastic. Highly recommended. And then the update that they put out definitely adds to it. The voice acting is really great. I don't really know what else they added. I didn't really play the original version that much. But we are going to have a review soon. I know Franny is working on a review of the final cut. So we'll have writing about that soon from someone who isn't on this podcast. That's nice that'll be nice to read.
Yeah.
Disco.
Sounds great.
Let's do some news.
Sounds
Let's
good.
do some news. Let me just pick something. So Half-Life Alyx was a big release last year that was something that a lot of people couldn't play because it was on VR. VR is expensive. VR is a bit difficult to maneuver in if you don't have a lot of space. And, there's just a lot of stuff that's prohibitive about VR. But a modder that goes by Somnist has been working on a mod for Half-Life Alyx to take out the VR. They're still working on it. It seems like they are just kind of making all of Alex's stuff, things that you can just handle with a mouse and keyboard. There's some things that you can do in that game that are probably a little quite different. But folks might have to maybe wrestle with the fact that maybe without the VR, the game will be a little less interesting. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes. I do want to give it a shot, but at the same time, I feel like it
really
would be
cool.
more interesting if I did have VR, but I'm not going to drop money on that anytime soon. How do y'all
Right.
feel about games that are, I guess I would ask, how do y'all feel about the concept of games that are VR only if you don't have VR? Because, I would love to play VR games, but I just don't feel ready yet, to
Mm-hmm.
splurge
It's
on
just
something like
not
that.
affordable at all. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool and all, but just there isn't too much incentive to get VR, and it's like if everyone's saying, "Oh, this is such a great game," and it's like I really, would want to play it, and it's VR only. I'm like, that really sucks because it's just like there's a huge amount of people that don't have VR, and they're just leaving all those people out because it's not affordable. But if this is how you envision the game to be, then I guess, they can't really make a mode in the game that allows people to not play it without VR. But
Mhm.
I think it's kind of cool that this person is modding it. Um, as long as, Valve isn't like, oh, this is not good. We're going to shut it down. Like a lot of other companies might do. But seems like they probably wouldn't, hopefully.
Sure.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think that I think Somnus is well aware that this is something that they want to do purely to be able to say there are people that don't have access to VR or do not feel physically comfortable with VR. I know that
Right.
even as technology gets better, the initial disorientation with VR
Mhm.
has been one of the big hurdles when it comes to implementing this and has still made VR more of a vestigial implementation or a vestigial aspect of generational gaming as opposed to the immediate next step. And partially because of that, I think these kinds of mods don't take away from the game itself, because ultimately this is focusing on saying this is a good story, this is a good personal experience. Let's just make it something that more people have access to. And there's definitely a lot that gets lost outside of VR. I know in the initial release of Alyx, a lot of people were just spending so much of their time looking at bottles and actually messing around with the liquid physics and throwing stuff over the barricade. That was sort of the big feel where, oh, I feel like I'm actually immersed in the game. But I feel like if it were only condensed to that aspect, or if that were the only thing people were saying was good about the game, then one, this mod wouldn't even be an attempt. People would just say, oh yeah, sure, it's a VR experience. If I had the money for it, I would try it out. But otherwise, this isn't something that I feel like I'm missing out on. And I think for if anything else, this is starting to hit now on games that do hit a stride as being a part of that VR wave, and they are things that people would want to buy a headset for. And at the very least, making it so that even without the headset, you can still experience it is good overall. But then it also is showing that in the future, there might be more of that demand. We're slowly seeing developers understand how to use VR in a way that creates that narrative, that creates something that people would want to buy a headset for.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I mean, I'm always a believer that more options is better than less options, so whatever works. Let's see here. So next bit of news here. Twitch recently had a huge crackdown on viewbots. They said that they have identified and banned 7.5 million plus viewbot accounts.
What the hell? That's a ton.
So they, I guess they also, back in 2018, won a lawsuit against 2 viewbot sellers, winning $1.3 million. And I'm mostly reading this off of Kotaku here. Apparently, here, just to quote a few things here, Felix Yengel, who goes by XQC, lost 2.6 million followers when these viewbots got
That's really sad.
Soda Poppin lost about 3 million.
Wow.
There's just so many people that have lost a ton of their followers, a ton of their it's... I mean, I'm not somebody who's gonna feel that bad about milquetoast Twitch streamers, but
yeah. It's just so unfortunate that you thought that some of those people were real people, and then you're like, oh, they were bots. Millions of them were bots.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been a problem of inflating viewers. Like, there's another thing that this Kotaku article points out that, is a problem in general, that, like, people would just embed their Twitch streams on pages. And, like for example, there's a lot of, like, fandom wiki pages that they'll just have Twitch streams stuck on there just to boost the numbers. Huh. You're not even looking at it, it's just on the same page. But it's a little funny, it's a little dumb. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but I thought it was interesting to bring up. Let's see here. One more thing. There is a rumor going around that Square Enix was getting, at the very least, was being sought out for a purchase. A big company was apparently thinking about buying up Square Enix. Bloomberg Japan was saying that Square Enix was in talks with multiple potential buyers. We have no idea what's really going on with that. There was a lot of talk that, because their stock went down because of how bad Avengers flopped, that maybe they were looking for somebody to help, carry the load. But Square Enix recently said, nope, that's not true. Bloomberg has reported today that there's interest in several buyers. This report is not based on any announcement by Square Enix. We are not considering selling off the company or any part of its business, nor have we received any offers from any third party to acquire the business or any part of its businesses. They're saying no, this didn't happen. There was some other talk around this that maybe this was just like something that got thrown out there to like boost their stock a little bit, just to like make people be like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe people still like them. Because I mean, hell, yeah, Avengers flopped, and you know what? Balan Wonderworld was also Square Enix.
That
so
doesn't help either.
yeah, that didn't exactly go very well. I mean, it's not like Square Enix is like dying or anything.
No,
They just put out the Final Fantasy VII remake, and that did really well. Final Fantasy XIV is still doing really well. They're fine. Like Final Fantasy 16 is coming out really soon. That'll do great. They've got stuff.
As long as it's really good, but I think it's gonna be good. I have some high hopes for it.
I mean, even if it's not amazing, it's still gonna like Final Fantasy 15 sold really well, and people were still kind of middling.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like that amazing. Like, there was so many problems with the production of that game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, only time will tell.
Let's see here, Maverick. Tell us a little bit about the game demo that you've been into recently.
Yeah, all right. So, as a way to just sort of like cleanse my palate from playing nonstop JRPGs, I figured I needed some kind of a buffer, and coincidentally, I ended up stumbling upon, I think it was shared in the Discord at one point. I was just like, ooh, what's this? I played the demo for Unbeatable, a game where music is illegal and you do crimes. So this is a anime-centric, anime-styled rhythm adventure game, and in the broadest sense of the terms, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's been a while, and I say this coming off the heels of what I would consider a really good game series, but it's been a while since I've just had a game click after a few seconds, and I'm just like, oh, I am fully on board with what you're giving me. In terms of the aesthetics, it's very interesting to see a game actually go ahead and full on take up the trigger aesthetic. I feel like there's a lot of anime influenced games, and none have really taken that next step to actually notice trends in terms of what's coming out and what's really getting popular. This seems like something that's really wanting to make that claim and say, not a lot of things are taking that sort of an aesthetic, and let's go ahead and try to do something in the middle of that. It's got a very, like, from the trailer that they have on the actual Kickstarter page and on the just from the demo itself, it's got a lot of a small town vibe. It's very, if you've known anything about Fooly Cooly, if you've known anything about early 2000s Dreamcast aesthetics, it's speaking to a lot of those sensibilities. It's speaking to people that are already looking at Bomb Rush Cyberpunk and are waiting for that to come out. It's, in terms of a marketing standpoint, very smart. In terms of the demo, a lot of fun. It's a rhythm game similar to Muse Dash, and so it's basically 2 lanes that you're coordinating in terms of notes on the top, notes on the bottom. You can use, it's all done with 4 buttons, 2 to coordinate the top 2 lane, 2 to coordinate the top 2 lanes, 2 to coordinate the bottom 2, and you're just drumming them out like that. On a controller, you're using the face buttons and the face buttons for the top lane, arrow buttons for the bottom lane, and that's a similar, like, very intuitive, and the demo itself starts with a tutorial, so it gets you involved with understanding how the notes work, what each note is going to look like when you're actually working with it. And if you've played Muse Dash before, you know and are very familiar with this style. If you haven't, it's a very quick onboard, and you get really acclimated to it in no time. And the songs themselves, there's only 5 released with the demo, but it's very refreshing to see a rhythm game do something different in terms of leaning into a more pop punk rock aesthetic. Whereas something that did get me away from Muse Dash was its very EDM focused set list. Not that I wasn't interested in the genre itself, it was just like there are a lot of songs and I don't feel like I want to play any of them.
Mhm.
Whereas I've already gone through these 5 so many times in a row and they do not feel old at all. Especially as I'm going through the different difficulties, as I'm starting to master some of the combos. There's that want of mastery that comes with the initial playing of a rhythm game where it's like, I want 100% this. I want to get perfects. I want to just really get into that flow state. And it's good to see that on its bare bones, Unbeatable is really playing to that. And it's, it's got me having to figure out some of the kinks with that kind of a play style. I am more of a Project Diva kind of a rhythm gamer, and I'm hoping that in the future, based on feedback from the community, there's at least the option to change up controls so I can do something that is a bit more similar to my play style. But outside of that, I'm really excited for where this game goes in the future, and it's really interesting to see. I think thanks to the success of Hades, you're starting to get a wave of games where there is a core gameplay mechanic, but they're also going to try and set up some more narrative in the sidelines. There are games that want to do more with being able to make you appreciate the characters in a setting that's not directly related to role-playing or related to having them be functional parts of your narrative. You can just hang with these characters. You can be interested to see what they're going to do and live and breathe in that world. And not to say that it's never happened before, but I think the success that Hades had gotten, where it was not only, oh, this game is fun to play, but I'm learning so much more about the world that as I play it, that's really giving developers the confidence to do something similar. And I'm really curious to see overall where that leads. If some nail that mark, if some miss the mark by a bit, but overall, I think this is going to be a good example of what's going to be coming in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really cool. I was looking at Steam and trying to get the demo, but it's not available. Is there any other way
So
to
currently,
get the demo?
currently they have the arcade demo available on their itch page.
Oh.
And so that is just the 5 songs, the different difficulties associated with them. I think the Steam demo, which is called White Label,
Right.
is going to be them slowly dripping in more story elements as it comes together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, as someone that has never backed a crowdfunded project before, I'm interested to actually be in the forefront of being able to say, like, oh, this looks cool. I can't wait to hear more, and hopefully it works out well.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Kind of seems like something I'd be interested in too.
Yeah, it does look pretty rad. All right, Melissa, tell us about what's going on with Final Fantasy, but please don't kill me with
spoil.
it.
Don't kill you with it. What do you mean?
Just hold your power in a little bit. That's all I mean.
Well, basically, patch 5.5 came out, and getting to the end of the story, setting up for Endwalker. There's the final thing of the Nier raid, which I haven't played yet. But it looks pretty epic, according to what was on the trailer. Yeah, people are telling me it's kind of hard. But yeah, there's a big cliffhanger, and there's going to be more story in May, and it looks pretty cool. Yeah, there's some good things that happened. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But the new dungeon's pretty neat. Fight a Bahamut. So that was cool. Yeah. It's got some new fun stuff. Some new mounts and some new glam, because glamour's always the end game. Dress up as some Nier characters, and you can get a little 9S and 2B plushies for your house if you can roll on them in the raid, or you could spend almost 2 million gil getting one from the market board. But yeah, lots of ways to make gil, which is cool. But I'm still working on the little relic weapon, which will be updated in 5.55, which is coming out in May, and you have to do this thing where you have to, go in and beat a bunch of bosses in the Bozja that they have. So you have to do that like 15 times in order to get these artifacts to upgrade the weapon again. And I'm like doing it, and I'm not getting any of the good drops. And it's like someone's like, "Oh, well, I got the special hair 2 times," and I'm like, "Good for you. I got nothing." I don't know. Just a lot of people just have more luck than me. It's like, maybe you should give me some of that luck, because that would be really great.
I'm sorry that I can't really direct this conversation at all. I don't know jack fucking shit.
I know. It's okay.
I've tried to play that game like 5 times now, and I'm sorry.
I don't know. A lot of the appeal for me is just like, since like the whole pandemic happened, it's like not really being able to hang out with a lot of friends. So like, I kind of use it as just like a way to be social with my friends,
Well, for me, it probably doesn't help that I'm extremely behind on everything, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and so I'm very slow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think I got kicked out of the free company I was on.
What? What did you do?
Nothing, and I think that's
Maybe
so
you just weren't active enough for them?
I was playing for a bit, but then I couldn't afford the subscription, so I just let that be idle for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Either I got kicked out for inactivity, or the free company itself blew up, which, totally possible.
I don't know. That seems really mean to kick someone out because of inactivity. It's like, it should be a home that you can come back to. If you quit the game for 6 months, whatever, you come back, they're there. Don't kick them out.
It's fine. I didn't really care that much about that play.
Yeah.
It was one of the channels I immediately muted because I was just like, I just want to keep doing things by myself.
Right. Yeah, I did that for a while. Mostly just when I was doing the story, playing stuff by myself, and then I caught up and I'm like, oh, I don't have anybody to play with.
Yeah, no, thankfully I know plenty of people that are on it, so I'll just when I eventually get back into it, I'll just bug one of them to put me into their free company or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What data center were you on?
Oh god, was I on Primal?
I'm on Aether, but luckily you're gonna do the this whole thing where you can go to different data centers in like North America, so you can play with everybody in like Primal and Crystal and Aether. But I don't think you can go to the European or the Japanese data centers at all. But it's still nice to be able to go to those pretty soon. Hopefully, like this summer. They made like a mistake in saying, "Oh, in 5.58, we're gonna add in the world travel," and then they deleted it. And I'm like, "Uh-oh, were they supposed to say that at FanFest next month, and they accidentally leaked it?" So people are like, it could be coming before Endwalker comes out, which is pretty cool. But there's no
Nice.
official announcement. Just an accident.
Mhm. So for John, the last thing I did recently was so I had bought a couple of N64 games semi recently, and I was like, damn, I should play that. I should
What'd you
get
buy?
bust out the N64. So a bit ago, I did buy Smash 64, and
Nice.
Beetle Racing
What?
from
That
Airy.
sounds amazing.
Yeah. And I'm talking about like VW beetles, not like insect beetles.
Oh, okay.
And then
Insect beetles race.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't know why that's what I pictured.
And then I did also a day or two ago. I bought a Bomberman Hero. And then I also recently bought like one of those third-party N64 controllers that is shaped like a normal controller.
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up.
Yeah, it is kind of fucked up, but it's nice at the same time. It makes me feel like I'm using a controller made for human beings instead of aliens.
Hate that controller.
But I cleaned out my N64 because I have the tools to do it. I have all those nerd tools to crack open game consoles and game cartridges. And I did open up the N64, and there was enough hair in there to cover a fucking hamster or a small cat. It was fucking putrid, but I did clean it out, so now it's normal.
Do you have any pets that might have contributed to that?
I mean, maybe. I don't fucking know. It was a lot. It was foul.
Dust.
But I do have to be a little careful though, because the fucking reset button on the thing is busted.
Uh-oh.
I gotta figure out what to do with that shit, because it is very frustrating. I might have to take it to the shop or something and be like, yo, can y'all tell me what the hell? Because I don't want my shit resetting while I'm trying to play.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to reset when I press the button.
Yeah.
That's just how you become a better speedrunner.
Oh yeah, it's over. You know. Well. You know what's a console that's not really that good is N64.
No, that controller sucks, and I hate the little, the stick on there. Like, I had a few of them that, because we got like an N64 used, like, I don't know, 2011. So my brother took these little, like, you can put better, like, joystick in there. So it's not like the stupid one that they have in there originally. So it's just like a much better, thumbstick. So that's a alternative to buying like a third party one, but it's just not a good controller at all. Like, I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Have you seen the one that has like the little banana? It looks like it's bananas and it's amazing.
It's a very rare controller. It's very expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even with my controller that makes it like for humans, those games are still not like incredible.
They just wanted to do cartridges, you know?
Yeah, not a great idea.
Yeah,
they should not have done that.
They're freaking expensive.
That was a big fucking blunder on their part. Nintendo had like what? Dumb shit that wasn't good. And Sony was over there with Symphony of the Night.
Doing CDs by that point. Like the other people, even Sega was doing the CDs, and Nintendo's still stuck in the cartridge area. And Square was like, nah, we don't want to put our games on there anymore. And they jump ship to PlayStation.
I'm a fucking Nintendo freak. I'm one of those dumbass bastards who likes Nintendo stuff a lot. And let me tell you, they should not have done that shit. That was a bad idea for bad idiots. And I don't really like the N64, but like I'm glad that I have one, and I'm glad that I have the games that I have. And you know, I would love to fill out that collection a little bit more. Like there is some stuff that I'm definitely missing. Will not be picking up a copy of Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart, you could be offended all you want about this, but you know what? I'm saying it. Mario Kart 64 sucks ass. It is bad.
Is it the
It is
worst
a bad game.
one?
What's your ideal Mario Kart?
Ooh.
Either DS or Double Dash.
Oh, I was like,
That's fucking
you better
right.
say Double Dash. You better say Double Dash, because that's a freaking great game.
Those, I mean, you know, like the newer ones are also very good. Like, you know, 7 and 8 are also really, really good. But
Mhm.
you know, they're a little soulless. They don't have that soul.
I just feel like Double Dash has so much soul, and then
Double
they
Dash has
didn't
a lot
do
of
the
soul.
double thing again.
They put all the soul into the soundtracks, which fucking whip, but I
Yeah.
would like to see it spread a little bit more evenly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I think 7 and 8 are absolutely fantastic games. Don't get me wrong, especially 8, especially like Deluxe 8,
Oh,
sensational. But DS, like Double Dash, again, yeah, Double Dash just had that soul, and then DS is, I think, just like the pinnacle of like content and concept. DS
Doesn't
just
DS
really,
like have a little bit from like all the older games?
yes, DS was just when they nailed the formula, in my opinion. And I think 64 and Wii are both squirrely garbage games. They play like you're slicked up. It feels like your controller is dipped in goo.
Oof.
Everyone loves Mario Kart Wii. I think that game plays like shit. Same with Mario Kart 64.
It looks like shit. It plays like shit.
Wii does. I think 64 has like a mysterious aura to it that I respect. Mario Kart Wii does look like shit. Mario Kart Wii looks like they crafted that game in the doo-doo factory. That's my my hot gamer take for you all. You know, I had to if I was posting that on Twitter, I would have had to post it with the guy from Tangled, you know.
Mm.
That's what I would have had to do.
Good old Flynn Rider.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I haven't seen that movie.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. There were 2 like streams this week. The first one I'll talk about because I have the page open. Was they had another one of those Resident Evil showcases. They had a new trailer for Resident Evil Village, of course. Because they had to show more footy of Lady
Everybody's
Dimitrescu.
favorite giantess.
Yeah, she's large.
Lady
and in
Demi
charge.
Footy.
You guys gonna draw straws to see who gets to review that game?
I mean, we could talk about it. I don't think anyone's like.
I'll be civil.
I could take it or leave it. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up. I like Resident Evil, but you know, I'm not like.
Oh, you know, I'm a big horror baby, so like, I'm more. I am in it for everyone just going full freak.
I mean, yeah, you know, I hope people are like having. I mean, I'm glad people are having fun with that, but I just more mean like, yeah, like I am also a big horror baby, but I fucking like Resident Evil 4 is like still one of my favorite games ever, and
Yeah.
You know, I played a bit of 7, and then the remakes of 2 and 3 were great. So you know, I mean, I do want to play through 7. I probably won't be able to, but by the time Village comes out, but you know, I'll play Village. We'll figure that out. We can talk about that later. But they did announce that there is going to be a new demo, a time limited demo where you get to play 60 minutes of the game.
Oh.
It's releasing May 1st.
And when does the game come out again?
What?
When does the game come out again? Sounds like it comes out in May.
The game comes out May 7th.
Oh, so like a few days before.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. Is it for everybody or is it just PS5 again?
So
they did this one demo that was only PS5.
It's a little weird. So there's going to be a multi-platform demo that is the 60-minute one for all consoles, and that'll be May 1st. And that'll be available May 1st to May 2nd. It's a little weird how
Those
that's
are
going.
just like one day.
I guess so. And then
Ew.
there's going to be 2 demos that are exclusive to PlayStation, where you get to
Mhm.
play 30 minutes in the village and 30 minutes in the castle.
Oh.
And those are PlayStation exclusive. Those are early. Those are dropping April 17th to the
Oh, so
18th
like
for the village.
literally tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be the village demo, and then the castle demo will be April 24th to the 25th.
Okay.
It's pretty weird. I don't really know what they're doing with all that, but whatever. Next up, they also mentioned that the mercenaries mode is going to be in Resident Evil Village. It's going to be in the main game. It's not going to be like that spin-off reverse thing. They are just bringing mercenaries back. It's pretty much going to be the same thing like it was before. Run around, kill as many zombies as possible before time runs out. You can purchase upgrades from the Duke's Emporium. So, you're not just going in there with items that you're going in with. You can, buy better stuff, which that seems pretty neat. You can also upgrade your stealth, with weapon damage upgrades, movement speed, etc., etc. Really neat. I am a big fan of mercenaries. I was super into it in Resident Evil 4, and I also got really into it in what was it? Resident Evil Revelations 2. I got really into it in Revelations 2. So I'll definitely give this one a shot. Absolutely. It's just a fun little side mode that I think is welcome in all of those games. And the last thing they announced was that Resident Evil 4 is being ported to Oculus Quest 2. They showed some footage of it. You're just walking around. You can swing your knife and shit. Shoot. I don't fucking know. It seems off the shits.
Yeah.
Those things are still a little too spency. They're $300
Right.
just for that. Yada yada yada. You could play Resident Evil 4 as a first-person shooter. With
I
that,
think that's good enough. I mean, I guess if you want to experience it in VR, but it's just too much.
yeah.
For people who have it, go ahead.
I appreciate RE4 getting the Skyrim treatment at least.
Yep. It's gonna be on everything till the end of time.
God. And then they're gonna do a remake, and then that remake's gonna be on everything until the end of time.
Oh boy. It just is a game that does not look like it needs a remake. I don't know, it
doesn't
just
really,
seems
but
fine. It's not like a PS1 game like the other one, like the original, or yeah, that needs a graphical update. 4 looks fine and it plays fine. I just don't see why they would want to.
Well, the good news is that if the remake isn't good,
you can always play the original.
Yeah, and the original will just keep getting ported to shit. So
Yep.
it's fine. Don't worry about it.
The RE4 remake is going to include Mr. X's Revenge.
He's back and he's pissed.
Yep.
And last bit of news here, the Nintendo had one of those Indie World showcases. And they showed off a few games. Let's see here. I'm looking at a big list here. I didn't actually watch it, so apologies.
Yeah, same.
If,
I didn't either.
If I'm not that well versed and stuff, I'm just gonna kind of run through this. If there's anything in particular you'd like to bring up, please feel free to do so. We got Road 96, which is a procedural narrative game by Digix Art. I don't know. They're just a bunch of teens growing up. Aerial Knights Never Yield. It's a 3D side-scroller. There's a demo on the eShop now. And it's coming out May 19th. The next Annapurna game is Last Stop. That is an adventure game with 3 stories tying together. That'll be in July of this year. We have another Annapurna published game called Hindsight, with where you can kind of like look into people's pasts and futures.
Yeah, looks neat.
Mm-hmm. We got a new Ollie Ollie game, but this one's a 3D game where you're like going around finding places to skate and shit. That seems pretty tight. Ollie Ollie is cool, and this seems like a pretty neat evolution of that. You know, like very much an evolution like original Tony Hawk was to Thug. You know, this kind of seems like the next step in that regard. That'll be out on Switch this winter.
Nice.
We have The Longing, which is by Studio... I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's SEUFZ, Swivs. You play as a little shadow person who is in servitude to a king, and it will take 400 days for the king to reawaken, and so you're just gonna pass the time. You gotta complete puzzles and just chill out, and that's out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's The Longing. We have There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension. It's a point-and-click adventure game by French developer Draw Me a Pixel, and that is also out on Switch now. They showed off that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, which looks fucking tight. Looks super good. It's by Tribute Games. They're the ones that made Mercenary Kings. So that looks really good. That'll be later this year. They talked about Criz Tales, which is out July 20th. There's a new game published by Konami, which, you know, kind of funny that it's at an indie showcase, but, you know, at this point, yeah, I mean, it's being made by an indie. It's being made by Guru Guru. It's Getsu Fumaden, Undying Moon, which Getsu Fumaden is actually like an old school Konami NES game. Not the kind of thing that people would know about, but you know, something that like those real heads would know, you know.
It has like a really nice art style.
Yeah, really pretty art style, and you know, I hope people look into Getsu Fumaden now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the original after seeing this, but hey, this one also looks really cool. That'll be out next year. You got Aztec Forgotten Gods by Lienzo. That's out in fall. Skull the Hero Slayer by Southpaw Games. You play as a little skeleton man trying to save the Demon King from being defeated. That'll be out in the summer. And you know, they showed like other little things here. Fez is out on Switch right now. House of the Dead is getting a remake, and that's coming out later this year. Which again, like, kind of funny that that you know, that's like a Sega thing, but no, it's like Sega, you know, let someone make that.
Oh.
And the last thing they showed was that Oxenfree is getting a sequel called Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. You know, just a teaser, but they said it is coming out sometime this year.
Cool.
So that is that. Otherwise, I am going to go ahead and ask if you all have anything else to talk about, or shall we move on to questions?
I think we should go to the questions.
All right, let's move on to questions. If you want to send in a question, please feel free to go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. To sound like these fine folks right here. We've gotten a few questions from folks who used to one from someone who used to work for the site and one from someone who currently does. So first off, Niall sent in a question, and if you don't know wrestling, you probably can't answer this. I probably can't even answer this.
Yeah.
So Niall asks, if you were tasked with providing a meal to Wardlow, with the condition that if he was displeased by it, he would murder you, what would you give him? He cannot be poisoned or otherwise killed in this or any other situation.
Okay,
You
like
see, I feel like the thing with Wardlow is that it's very easy to assume he's a kind of hoity-toity guy,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I feel like that is just put on for show. If I had to give him a meal, I think I would go with something very. I would give him a Cuban sandwich. I would go full Jean Favreau and chef. Just get a really solid Cuban sandwich and just make sure that I was getting like local ingredients, best pickles I could find, like some really good ham to like get involved in that. He feels like someone that appreciates the craftsmanship of his meal rather than it just having a high price point.
Of course. Melissa, I don't know if you have any concept of
I
who
got
Wardlow is.
no opinion. I have no idea who that is. I'm sorry.
I've mostly just seen images of Wardlow, and I think he's a very funny
How do you spell
individual.
that?
Wardlow. How do you think it's spelled?
I just did, but hold on.
Wardlow. He's just a fucked up man on the AEW channel. I don't know. I think I would give him. I would just bring him to Wawa and be like, bro, here's your oyster. Fucking crack that shit open.
That's fair.
So that's the thing with Wawa. You can't get something for someone from Wawa that you have to bring them to it. They have to have their experience. They have to craft their experience at Wawa. Wawa is a monster of your own making.
Oh god, I still gotta hit up a Wawa at some point.
I did only once because I don't have Wawa near me, and I was very impressed.
I have multiple Wawas within walking distance of my house, and it's a problem.
Nuts. It's an addiction.
I'd go that far. I would. Shulis asks, Sony Pictures recently announced a Twisted Metal live-action series that turned the series' plot into some kind of post-apocalyptic action comedy written by the Deadpool and Zombieland guys. If you could butcher a game's plot into prestige TV schlock, what game would you choose and how would you change it? Shulis pissed about this. I can't blame him.
Oh god. That is a very good question to ask. I mean, the Monster Hunter movie is my immediate thought of what I would want to do in terms of like the wrong direction to take that kind of a franchise. Oh, fucking take Majora's Mask.
Oh no.
And make it very. What you got to do is make it a high stakes. Take the time loop dynamic concept and just make it very high stakes and like dramatic, and don't give it any space to breathe. It's all about Link going through the temples and having to face those trials and stuff. At no point do you actually care about any of the side quests. You just make it a story. You just isekai Majora's Mask. You just go full on, I've got to go back to my own world and I can't stay here anymore, instead of the actual evocative nature of being able to see the same 3 days play out over and over again and get to understand the people around it. You un-Twin Peaks Majora's Mask to get quality garbage.
Okay. Melissa, do you have anything?
Oh man, I really have to think about this. You're gonna have to come back to me.
I would take Mega Man Legends and turn it into Red Ash.
Fucking got him.
Got him.
Ass gotten. Inafune, we're calling you out, you piece of shit.
Yeah, fucker. You know, it would probably be really, oh, man, if we're thinking about stuff that like probably was pitched and just didn't happen. Probably around the time that The Walking Dead came out, I bet someone wanted to try to make a Left 4 Dead show.
Yeah, oh my god, someone got so pissed when the graphic novels came out.
Oh, man.
Oh, to that respect, too, it's very easy to fuck up Valhalla.
Like, the visual novel?
The visual novel bartender game.
Oh my god.
It is very easy to fuck that up. And I'm surprised no one has tried to, like, approach it now with the recent wave of, like, cyberpunk without any of the subtext about what goes on in making societies that are so, like, oppressive as they are now.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because what you do is that you make it cyber cheers. Because that's basically like that's the best thing you could do is just make it cheers, but a little bit more like, I don't want to say Arrested Development, but there's only so much you could. The fault of a Valhalla TV show would be that they tried to go outside of the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Too much. Instead of it just being like a come and go, and occasionally you get to see outside of that.
Yeah.
They would try and go too hard the other direction.
Mm-hmm. There would be like one episode the entire season that is just in the bar.
Yep. Yeah.
Come on. They wouldn't even have a whole episode that's just the scene of them of Jill and Dana drinking together. Come on.
Nope.
Come on. Nope. Come on.
Oh, and it would also be like horribly straight.
Yeah. You're making me. You're killing me. You're killing me here. Melissa, do you have something? Please.
Okay. So I feel like if they tried to make like a movie around like Metroid, they would have like really terrible CGI, and like just Ridley would just look horrible.
Can I interest you in a little relic known as Metroid Other M?
Yeah, that's true.
It would just be Other M, yeah.
It would be
Other M is the proof and concept of making the Metroid movie.
Well, just take Other M and there's your movie.
Except that Scarlett Johansson would be the lead.
Oh man, yeah, of course she would be. Oh, that sounds just terrible.
It'd be... I mean... Like...
Okay, so who would you want? Who do you think would be an ideal Samus? Who do you feel would be the quick pitch for Samus?
See, the thing is that I kind of feel like it's the same thing, because I think it's... I don't remember her fucking name, but it's just the lady that was Captain Marvel. Like, she would be Samus.
Oh, yeah.
Try and remember her name.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Brie Larson?
Brie Larson, yeah.
Yeah, Brie Larson.
Yes.
It'd just be Brie Larson. I mean, she said that she wants to do it. She's got the look. She'd be fine.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'd be okay with that. I'm not like, I'm not biting at the bit for a Metroid movie, but like, if they're gonna do it and they cast her, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm. As long as she plays the part right. Plays it well. Yeah, I'm getting these top 10 actors who could play Samus Aran. And yes, Scarlett Johansson's in there.
No.
We don't want it.
No. I don't want ScarJo in anything. I don't want...
No, I'm tired of her.
I am extremely sick of her, and I am exceptionally upset that they went, damn, we gotta put Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie, so he's gotta be, like, cold and quiet. Like, kiss my ass. Fucking god damn it. I love Taskmaster, but I love him when he talks. He's a shit talker. He's an asshole. I want Taskmaster to be some brash dickhead. They're not even gonna have him be named Tony Masters in that movie. Like, come on. You know that's not gonna be his name. Because that would be too stupid. Like, come on. Come on. Let's see here. We got question from Cello Buster, who says, "What would be your moveset if you were a Smash Bros. Fighter?"
Oh man, that sounds cool.
Well, you see, if they put Travis Touchdown in Smash Bros, it would be that.
That would be your moveset?
Yeah.
I mean, just saying, Travis
Yeah,
Touchdown.
there you go. That's my answer.
God, I don't know. I don't feel like I have any distinct moves. If I had to think the cheap answer of modding myself over a character, I feel like... I'm trying to think, like... Maybe in a similar vein, I would probably be a sword fighter.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, one of those sword fighters. I'm trying to think about which one. You know what? I'd be fucking Lloyd Banning, or not Lloyd Bannings. Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia.
Nice.
Are we all
Who
just
also
talking?
needs
Are
to
we
be
all
in the
just
game.
saying what characters we want in Smash Bros?
Yes.
Just what we're
No,
doing?
but if I had to think, like, because I couldn't tell you what my fucking like down special is. What do I look like? Someone with like a unique bit? But if you asked me to do a variation on what's already there, we don't have a dual wielding sword fighter. I would want to be
No.
the dual wielding sword fighter.
Would you still have a counter down special?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay. I just have to make sure.
I like to counter. I like to parry.
That's the
I'm normal.
I mean, everyone complains about it, but here's my counterpoint. It's fucking sick, is what it is. So
It's cool. I'm sorry that
rad.
you don't like having fighting game mechanics in your fighting game.
It's a fighting game.
it's good.
What more do you want?
Melissa, do you have an answer?
I don't know. I feel like since I like cooking and baking a lot, like I would cook something and it would do like a certain attack.
So you want to
I
be
don't
cooking,
know.
mama.
I just want to be cooking.
Okay.
No, see that is
Like,
an actual.
What
that is
if
an actual
like
answer.
I made like a big like meat monster or something for my like ultimate smash and it would just like destroy everybody. That would be cool.
Yeah, cooking, mama.
Just like cook stuff, but like it's demonic and like kills people. Yeah.
Rose sent in a question. Says, "Hey, it's me, Rose, and as a big proponent
Rose.
of the Trails in the Sky games, who just read the podcast discussion sheet, what is Maverick's experience with the Trails franchise? Are you just playing through Cold Steel? Have you noticed anything you missed out on? I've been curious since most people suggest to play literally all the games if we're going into Cold Steel, like Wild Animals. So have you played the other Trails games, and what is your previous experience with the rest of the franchise?"
No, so I touched a bit on this before, I think, but I was in the market for a new RPG series after just going like, man, I can't keep talking about the things I don't like about Persona 5. I need to play something so I can at least be like, oh, this is what I appreciate out of the series.
Mm-hmm.
A friend recommended that I play Tokyo Xanadu, another game by Falcon that was on sale at the time, and I figured, okay, let me pick this up. And then by extension, they mentioned like, oh, they also do the Trails in Cold Steel series. Here's a little bit about an interaction that goes on, and it's the one that I had talked about before, where it's like, oh no, what a hilarious anime accident that happened, but also let's be normal and talk about this so we can like get over it. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting and cool. So that was my first inkling about what the Trail series was about, and from there, again, like literally it was the only game that I played all of last year and is the series I'm really going to be focusing on for the foreseeable future, at least until I catch up with the games. I am curious to go back and play the Trails in the Sky series, but at the same time, it's like, the one thing I will say is that they do look very interesting, and I want to know the story that's in there before Cold Steel, because those games at least do a good job of going, hey, yeah, here's this person that is new to you, but people that have already played the series are going like, oh my god, it's that guy. Oh, it's that lady. This is really cool. But it's not leaving you out of that discussion. I'm interested to at least go back and see like, okay, what did I miss? But I think that'll be a task that I end up doing a little bit more leisurely, just because this segment of the story is really where I'm most motivated and like find myself interested in. There's a lot of there are a lot of cool things, but I'm loyal to Class 7 is what I'm saying.
Mm.
I love my little dumbasses. I love my little perverts to the sword that are literally just talking about living the way of the blade. My two little rival kids that are totally not boyfriends, but they are boyfriends. They're the nomad dude who is just the most chillest guy ever, who is definitely smoking on some good kush outside of class. It's a good set of kids. And eventually I'll figure out the rest of that world, but, I do it for the kids.
As you should. As you should. Last question here. It is from Harlequin Wheels, who asks, which video game is most likely to kill a medieval peasant if you showed it to them?
Oh. Kill a medieval peasant.
I think if you showed Rez to a peasant, they would...
That's what I was gonna say, something like that.
Yeah, they would die on the spot. Or Intelligent Cube. I've been thinking about Intelligent Cube a lot lately. I love Intelligent Cube. Holy shit, I love Intelligent Cube.
Soul Calibur.
Ooh.
It'd get too real and they'd be like, oh, fuck.
I feel like Pokemon, because then they'd be like, what are these animals? They're fighting each other? And these humans are making them fight each other? For money?
I don't know. I think Pokemon would make sense to them. They'd just be like, yeah, that's like you would show that to them, and they'd just probably be like, yeah, that's what happens across the ocean. All right.
Cockfighting. Oh, okay. I guess
that would just make sense to them.
The real answer is that you get you put them in a VR headset.
Oh god.
Oh,
and then
no.
you put them in VR chat, and someone dressed as a locomotive just starts running full speed up.
Oh yeah, they would drop dead. Yeah.
As close as you can get to just showing them locomotive arrives at station.
I would show that I mean any past time period I would go and I would go and find a historical figure and then show them the Fate Go version of them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be that would not end well.
I would simply gather all the world leaders and
like,
show them civilization.
Why am I a hot, big, boobied lady?
Maybe some of them would be into it, you know?
Napoleon would be like, why am I not?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Show him Donkey Kong.
Oh my god. Yes.
Hey, yo, Charlemagne, check this shit. You're...
What it would be? It'd be a side-by-side of, like, those fucking average such-and-such fans versus the casual something-something enjoyers.
Mm.
Oh, man.
And it would be me on the right hand, and then on the left side is, like, fucking Martin Luther having a conniption. Just seeing, like, me play Project Diva.
Mm.
What about, like, Banjo-Kazooie? I feel like someone might like.
Oh, that
my
could fuck somebody
God,
up.
yes. It's like, why is this bear attacking with a bird? It just makes no sense.
Let me make a medieval lord play a game of DDR.
Oh, hell yeah. That's pretty good. All right. Well, I think that should do it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for being on, everybody.
Yeah, it was
I'll do
fun.
the usual spiel here. If you want to keep checking out our stuff, you can go to videogamechoochoo.com, like Choo Choo Train. We're gonna have quite a bit of stuff coming up. I finally got around to posting that Kraken Packs that I did a while ago, a long while ago. So it is pretty outdated. I probably mentioned some card prices and stuff in there that is just like wrong now. And we'll post another one next week, so we'll get caught up on there. I don't know when I'll buy more Yu-Gi-Oh cards or any cards, because, we'll see. The fucking scalping market is horrendous. Follow us on Twitter at VGChooChoo. You can keep up with all that stuff. We'll keep posting everything on there. We'll also post everything on Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com, and Facebook, facebook.com/videogamechoochoo. We have our YouTube page, YouTube. Just type in Video Game Choo Choo and it'll bring you to our YouTube page. You could check out all the stuff that, we did some streams pretty recently. And all those archives are going up on the site. We'll post any videos and stuff on there. But we are going to do some more streams in the coming time. Twitch.tv/VGChooChoo. By the time you hear this, it will have happened already. But Scott is playing a real fucking crazy game. Hopefully the archives for that will be up by the time you hear this, because I definitely want people to see that. I can't wait. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/VGCC. For just $3 a month, you gain access to stuff such as Chuchigatri Unlimited Train Works, which I think we're just going to be calling Unlimited Train Works. I have to remember that. I have to just Unlimited Train Works. Just Unlimited Train Works. Unlimited Train Works, $3 a month. We'll get you that a week early, so you can hear all our anime conversation super fast, super quick, before everyone else does. And you can come hang out with us in our Discord server. If you type in thegamezone.zone into your web browser, it'll give you a link straight there. You can hang out with us. We're always in there. We're always having a great time. And finally, thank you to Melt Channel/Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. You can listen to more of their stuff. It's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. They got all kinds of great music. Check that out. And let's see here. Melissa, where can people find you online?
Currently I'm just on Instagram at Fattel Flair. So, yeah, that's what I do.
And how about yourself, Maverick?
You can find me on Twitter over at Mavsplaniamania. That's MAVSPLANMANIA, where I just post. I am taking the poster's curse, which is to continue posting. But, I'm in the middle of looking for jobs, so my openness of just having that account public will come and go. Because you always got to put your best foot forward. And frankly, I do not need employers seeing me let steam loose.
And you can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI. I'm just going for it too, Who gives a shit these days? We're just letting it rock.
We're cutting it loose, we're cutting it crazy. This is uncut.
Who cares? It's time. It's that time. But that's it. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So long, everybody.
Bye.
Peace out.